What's up? It's Owen from Real Social Dynamics. Chilling out in Austin, Texas this weekend. All right. And you can probably tell my voice is blown out from running a big stack of programs. So you can feel happy for me because I've been working real hard. That's what I love to do. And what I want to talk to you about this weekend is very important, is the contrast between taking massive action towards your goals. In other words, being willing to do whatever it takes to get to where you want to go versus maintaining a very floaty openness to new experiences, kind of walking through life and saying, oh look, you know, this happened, it maybe wasn't what I expected, but what lesson could the universe be providing me here, and how could I take that lesson and sort of co-create something into something even better than what I originally expected, something even beyond my original goal. You're trying to do the next physical move.
Right.
Well, that's cool because you have a goal, right?
Right.
I like you have a goal, but she just wanted to talk to you. Was she gonna leave if you just stood there?
No.
So you allowed your goal to get in the way of creating something together with her. She wants to create a fun conversation with you.
Right.
And then you let that get in the way. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull her back in, and then you're just gonna talk to her and just be normal and chat and just relax. Stop having your goal. That's how you get laid.
Okay.
Hi there.
Oh, she's back. I thought you were loving.
All right, so the thing that got me thinking about this was actually a very cool student that I had this weekend. A little dude, real focus. Love this guy. He's even got the words success written up on his cell phone. And he was cracking real hard this weekend on his program, and it was really good to see him working hard. I love that. And one of the things that he said to me was, he said, Owen, I'd like it if I could have sex with 100 women by the time that I'm 29 years old. He's actually 22. I think he could do that. Interesting goal. And he also said, I'd like to get a kiss tonight. Tonight is my big night to get a kiss. And the last question that he asked was, he said, how many years do you think that it would take to become icy? And what he means by that is just a pimp expression. It means how many years would it take to get to the point where you just draw your good emotions totally from within yourself, and the girl is not going to mess with your head. Okay, so good goals, right? You know, you want to get success. You want to think of these as success. But what was interesting was that instinctively, I just started saying to him, and at first I didn't realize why. I said to him, dude, no. I was just like, no, I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear about this 100 women by 29 thing. I don't want to hear about this get a kiss tonight thing. And I don't want you to be asking me how many years it's going to take to become an icy motherfucking pimp. And, you know, he's like, why? You know, these are good goals. And, you know, you're supposed to have goals. And what I explained to him was that I could sort of sense that on some level, his desire to get a goal was actually sort of lowering his state of consciousness, if you could sort of put it that way, okay? I could sense that when he was going into his interactions with the girls, he was forcing it too much. And there was all these amazing and fucking beautiful things that were happening between him and the girl, and he wasn't taking notice of them because he was trying too hard to get to his goal. So, you know, you've heard this before when we say, you know, don't make a woman into an object. You know, you've heard it before when we say, you know, stay in the moment, stay in the present, enjoy the process. And you could really see him on that level, kind of, you know, pushing the girls a bit too much. And, you know, they're cracking jokes at him, and he's not taking the time to smell the roses and laugh with them. But you could also see it sort of in his state of mind. You could see it in that sort of glow in his eyes, that spark in his eyes, and how the desire to move forward was actually sort of lowering that little spark in his eyes. And it was just like instinctive. It was just like this retching feeling. I was just like, no, I don't want to hear about these 100 girls. I don't want to hear about getting a kiss tonight. I want you to open up your mind. I want you to create an openness to new experiences.
I'm gonna move them somewhere. Both. Don't ask permission. Don't ask permission. Come follow me. Really good. It's where dreams come true. Where? Bring them into a club right now. Do it now.
I saw you at Jet.
Just keep chatting with her while she smokes. Just keep chatting while she smokes.
Okay.
Take your time. Enjoy yourself. Remember, there's no outcome, right? It's just all fun. Let it go where it goes. No need to rush it.
Let's go.
Good, good. I'm gonna go in there. See if you can film from out here.
Figured new experiences, gotta take my own medicine, so decided to hop in, why not? And actually what I wanna do is break this down from a simplistic surface level perspective by looking at those goals of getting a kiss, getting laid by 100 girls by 29, and becoming an icy motherfucking pimp within 2 years. I'll break it down from a surface level, and then we'll hop out of here, we'll go a little deeper. Okay, so from a surface level, say that I say to you, what'll be a great night for you tonight? And you're like, you know what? I've never kissed a girl I just met before, so tonight, my goal is to get a kiss. On the surface, that sounds totally normal. That sounds like a great goal. The problem with it is that a woman is not an object, okay? You cannot make another person into an object. So you can say to yourself, you know what? I'm gonna keep going until I get this fucking kiss. But the problem with that is that the woman who you're talking to, and every single woman you're talking to, is gonna sense that you're not actually engaging with her as another human being, but she's just some weird little object for you to suck up on, and instinctively she's not gonna wanna make out with you. So a better way of looking at it would be to say, I'm going to try to kiss every single girl that I talk to tonight. I'm not gonna pussy out when it's going well and not try for the kiss, but rather I'm gonna be talking to women all night long to maximize my opportunities. And every time I see a girl smiling, I'm gonna lean in, I'm gonna try to kiss her. And if I were to do that, that would be a great night. Now, what that does is, on one level you have a goal and you're putting the processes in place to make it the most likely that you'd achieve that goal. But on the flip side, you're leaving yourself open to new experiences. By having no desperate outcome dependence, you're more likely to get the goal. You're more likely to be more awake to what's happening, but at the same time, you're not kind of blocking it off by sabotaging yourself by turning the woman into an object. So the goal is good, but at the same time, the goal is the process itself. The goal is to actually execute the process. That puts you into the moment, gets you process orientation, works very, very well. I've seen a lot of guys get a kiss that night by doing that, and even the ones who don't will get it at their own rate. Well, this actually leads us into the other one. You're gonna get laid by 100 girls by the time that you're 29. Sounds great, right? Guys love goals, you know? That's very classic men, right? It's like win-lose goals, beat your competition, not just look at what's your best, or, fuck 100 girls, because now you'd be a real man once you fucked 100 girls. Of course, what you don't realize is that once you fucked 100 girls, you're still sitting here. You don't have 100 vaginas on your dick right now. It's not gonna make you into a man. Being a man is not by fucking 100 girls. But nonetheless, it could be an interesting goal to get out there and experience different women before you wind up getting married or something like that, so that you know what you want. But nonetheless, let's think of the bad sides of saying you wanna fuck 100 girls. Well, if you say that you wanna fuck 100 girls, what if you were to meet an amazing girl tonight who you fell in love with? Are you gonna blow that off? Well, it could be good to blow that off, actually, because you might be settling on the very first girl who liked you. But what if it so turned out that the girl who you met was the kind of girl who would support you in your other visions, and you would go on to become the fucking president of the country, because behind every, great man is a great woman, or whatever you call it, and you blew that off in your quest to fuck 100 girls. How about the fact that by wanting to fuck 100 girls, you might have fucked, say, 40 girls, and because of that goal that you have in your head, every single girl that you talk to, you're giving your power away to, because you need her validation, because you're so desperate to fuck 100 girls. So actually the desire to get that goal is actually diminishing you of power, and it's diminishing you from all these amazing relationship experiences that you could have, beautiful, incredible experiences that you could be having with another woman. It's basically just taking you from being a human being, an organic experience of life, all that kind of stuff, and turning you into a fucking robot. So again, that need to fuck 100 women, it's a good goal. You could say, I'll probably wind up hooking up with like 100 girls by the time I'm 29. Maybe meet a great girl, get married by then, whatever. That's fine. But again, it's taking away from your human experience of life. You have to be open.
What I liked about what you did when you went in there was you went in, you had a goal in mind to move them, but you just opened yourself up to the experience, right? And yes, it's good to have a goal, but if you're too much of a goal, you want to be a hard closer, but if you're too much of a hard closer, they don't sense that free-flowingness off of you. So social interaction is free-flowing, right? You want to enjoy it, sculpt it. So the thing is, what I like about that was then even when you were here, what I like what you did was you were about to be like, no, gotta get in, because that's you. Goal, gotta get my 100 girls before 29. Gotta get my kiss tonight, right? But then no, slow down, just have fun with them, but still keep the general goal, and then what happened? You end up getting inside.
The last one is become an icy motherfucking pimp by the time that you turn, I don't know if he's 22, say by the time he's 24. Well, that could be a good goal from the standpoint of, I want to have a lot of experience with women. I want to go through the ups and downs, and I want to learn that I have to draw my good emotions from within myself. Good goal. I'd say from that point, from that point of view, I'll give it as a good goal. But people ultimately are going to learn at their own pace. One sort of viewpoint that I have, and it's very superstitious, and I have no proof of it at all, it's totally on the woo-woo side, is that the experiences that you're having in life are not created to victimize you, but rather they are created for you. It's a very classic self-development idea, and part of the reason why we have that belief is just to get us out of the victim mindset. I mean, it's kind of utilitarian and practical belief to have, but if you actually look at it and think to yourself, look at all the bad experiences that I've had, they happened for me, it just sort of opens you up to all these different life lessons. So if it takes me 2 years to get to my goal, cool. If it takes me 4 years, cool. But one thing that I will never have is envy towards another man, because that is not a masculine trait, okay? Everybody is going to learn at their own pace. And while having a goal that you're taking massive action towards is very good, make that goal. I want to put myself in a good position to be an IC pimp within 2 years as best I can, but whatever happens, the chips will fall where they may. A lot of guys will basically come into pickup and they're looking for a method which they can go apply immediately, and they have these very specific goals, which is I want to get laid at a certain period of time, and so on and so forth. So I want to get you guys out of that, because what I think oftentimes happens is that they get so attached to whatever outcome or whatever idea of game that they think that they should be following, that they actually lose the moment, and they lose the spontaneity, they lose the fun, they lose the creativity. If you look at the videos that you saw here in these different polls, yeah, there's a general goal. The goal is pull the girl. And you can see that there was definitely some hard closing going on, right? There was no bullshit little excuses to get out of closing the deal. But at the same time, look at the fun, look at the spontaneity. Look at how myself or the other guys that you watch doing pickup take different obstacles and play with it and make something fun out of it. So it's not like you're just applying game onto the girl, but rather she's feeding you energy, you're feeding her energy, and then you're co-creating a great experience together.
Nice to meet you.
No, come back. Nice to meet you.
I don't know.
Walk the lady up the street at least a little bit. Just like 10 feet. Just like 10 feet. Don't worry, I'm very nice. I'm like Cupid or some shit, okay? Just 10 feet. 10 feet. 10 feet. Walk. Put your arm out and her arm like, boom. Just be like, grab her arm. Hi there, I'm weird.
Nothing.
Just grab her, throw your arm out, and then just be like, arm. 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 Do it. The best way that I could put it to you is it sort of opens you up. And you might have experienced this with women as far as their sexuality goes, where some women are very stifled in their sexuality. They have a hard time coming. They have a hard time letting go. They have a hard time getting into sex. They might be a little bit like, kind of like fucking a starfish when you're having sex with her. And then there's certain girls that have just awakened to their sexuality. They know how to get into the moment. They know how to let go. And these are the kind of women that will get into a rhythm with you where they just get you off again and again and again. Of course, if you ever fall in love with a girl, you want to do her a great gift, you actually help her to awaken and sort of bring her into her sexuality. Well, that is actually really what I'm getting at here with you. You have to awaken yourself. And a big part of that is that so many guys are so caught up in preserving their self-concept. They're so caught up in blocking out any thought or behavior that isn't leading them towards where they think they have to go. You see this a lot in certain Eastern cultures where the people are so caught up in their role within their family or their role within their community that they cannot let loose, they can't open up. And what I want to say to you is that by being open to new experiences, it actually allows you to merge creatively into the moment. So different things can kind of come at you in life and you say, you know what, where's this path leading me? What does it mean? What are the lessons that I can take out of it? How is the universe creating this for me? It might be irrational, might be a little woo-woo, but the result of it is that you open up. And basically, it just makes you a person with more diversity, somebody who's more adaptable, somebody who is more self-trusting to flow
into the moment. You're not afraid to block out anything that isn't leading you towards where you want to go, or block out anything that doesn't feed into your self-concept, but actually you can just adapt and trust yourself in the moment to do the right thing. A lot of people are trying to avoid troubling stimulus from entering into their consciousness, right? Anything troubling, any rejection, anything that disagrees with their existing beliefs, they're trying to avoid that. They're trying to shield it out. Open up. Just let it in, okay? When girls hit you with stuff, let it in. Words are words. Who gives a shit?
Who are you?
I was born in Glendale, I grew up in Whittier, and then
Kiss me now.
What?
About the same.
That's right, I'm not even drunk.
Call us later. We have to run to Dogwood. We'll see you later, maybe.
Wait, let me get your number.
So like with her, I had the goal to get her, boom, but at the same time, I leave it open to wherever it could go. And what that means is that we're creating together. Do you see what I'm saying? So me and her are creating the fun together. As soon as I look at her, it's like, you're gonna kiss a girl with me. I have the goal, right? Like, I'm gonna go for threesome, or I'm gonna go for like double makeout, or whatever it is I'm going for. But at the same time, do you notice how I'm open to the fun? I'm open to the spanking. I'm open to the creativity. I'm open to the playfulness. So I have my goal, but I'm not gonna, and I'm a closer, but I'm not gonna push on it so hard that I'm gonna ruin the fun. And I'm not gonna ruin the spontaneity and ruin the fun of it. So it's like with you earlier, you're with that girl, oh, she wants to grab a smoke, no big deal, play with that, but still have your end goal. So what I'll leave you with is this. Some people are very lucky to find their niche early in life. And they recognize that they found their niche and they hammer away at it so that they can achieve success at an early age. You probably noticed that I'm a guy who is lucky to do that. I got into the pickup stuff at age 22. And as soon as I realized that it could be a good lane for me, I had the balls to just hammer away at it. I was running workshops, creating content, doing boot camps, just for over the past 10 years. And that's been really, really cool. But what's interesting actually to me is that there's a lot of people who succeed later in life. And the way that they do that isn't by doing the common thing where they have a job where everything's kind of set and they go with the social norms, and then, maybe when they're 50 or 60, they wake up and snap out of it. That's actually a lot less common, although it definitely could happen. But rather, what I've seen with people who succeed later in life is they keep an openness of mind. They go around and kind of float through life, sort of take in different experiences. They look at different ideologies, take on different points of views. They have a good sense of empathy, and they're not threatened by thinking in many different ways. They might have a goal to do something, but if something else comes up, they explore it. They see where else the path might take them. It's almost like wandering through a forest. Some guy might kind of wander through the forest from point A to point B to try to get there. That's cool, you get to where you want to go real quick. But what if when you see a new path, you actually see where it takes you and you get to know the whole entire forest inside and out? And many of these people, by the time they hit 50 or 60, they do find a niche. And from that lifetime of accumulated open-mindedness and experiences that have come from that, they massively, massively succeed. And actually, you've actually seen this in many US presidents. You see some US presidents who start hammering on it from a young age, and others who've accomplished great things, but actually much later in life, looking like they might even be a failure, and suddenly getting into politics later in life and making a massive, massive impact. Well, that's what I want from you. Not necessarily to become a US president, unless that's what floats your boat, in which case, awesome, and hit me back if that happens. But rather to maintain a spontaneity, openness, non-rigidity. I want you to live the moment fully. I want you to experience life as it is and see where it will take you. I want you to have faith. I want you to believe in self-trust, self-reliance. I want you to go with the fucking flow. Yes, I want you to have goals. I want you to hammer massively on your goals, but I also want you to look for signs, look for new paths, look for any new directions that it might take you, and be open to those experiences. If it takes you a long time to learn something, so be it. Fuck it. All right, it might take a long time, but guess what? When things do take a long time to learn, sometimes all the different experiences that you have are much, much more rewarding. I believe in you. I believe in the experiences. I believe that the experiences are here to teach you. And I think that if you believe in yourself in the same way, that you'll open yourself up to a non-rigidity, a fluidity, a getting into the rhythm of life that will do incredible things for you. You'll stop being a fucking square. You become a rad fucking badass dude. And I think life will treat you really, really good. This is like really cool. And it's pretty obvious the bats are still coming.